Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Alright, everyone, welcome to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers, where Scott has been sucked into the primordial ooze that is called fatherhood.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That ooze of hood
Yeah, it's just not a pretty picture.
that is encompassing of fathers.
Yeah, it was green, it was purple, a little bit of pink, but
I think this one's more pink
Mostly
more pink.
and a little more purple.
Yeah.
Baby of the ooze. I'm really confused right now.
They're kind of the
No,
same.
so Scott isn't here
ooze
because
emanates
he just
from
had a
the
baby
baby.
girl.
Oh.
His first daughter, so
Congratulations.
we want to say congratulations.
Congratulations.
And
I like the babies.
now he's a dad, and now he will forever be worried and never have money in his wallet.
Now his bad jokes will just be more of a, oh, that's granted. You
Yes.
can do that.
It's
Yeah.
now appropriate.
It won't,
now
It
appropriate.
won't be so much of a head-hanging,
Dad
shameful
joke.
moment.
Yeah, it's just
oh,
like, oh,
Scott, why are you
Scott.
telling your bad
Whoa,
jokes?
now,
No, it's just,
hold
no, Scott's just
He's
embracing
practicing. He's practicing
who he
for
is.
when he has to tell it to his
It's
kids.
still just as shameful.
He's just embracing his role.
Yeah.
Which is something you should take ownership of what you have. What does he have? A baby.
A
He
baby.
should own that
Yeah.
baby. If he were to be like, it's just a baby, we should have issues, shouldn't we? We should have cause to concern, right? No.
How did this suddenly
I feel
move
like
into
Scott will take
owning
ownership of this.
baby is also a little worried.
I don't.
Well, as long as it's your baby, you don't just show up and be like, that's my baby now.
Not a single
I have
one of us
ownership of this.
is arguing your ownership of the baby.
Not my ownership.
Well,
Well,
I wasn't going anywhere.
you're at least partial owner.
Are you going to segue us now?
I have no
Oh, my
clue.
personal owner with Scott's baby. I'm concerned how you got to this conclusion.
Wait, who's Scott?
We're gonna leave this alone.
Let's move away. from
Apparently-
this
Scott's
topic.
normally here
Well, then why are you saying my baby?
Apparently, you're gonna have a. There's gonna be a
Metaphorical-
conversation with Scott's
You were-
wife
I
that you're
wasn't
gonna
I
have.
wasn't addressing
you
anyone
were
in
speaking
particular.
as Scott
I was, yes.
about his property.
Primordial ooze that it
No.
crawled out of?
Again, let's back out.
You
Back out.
No backing up. We're just gonna change the
You
subject.
cannot go back.
Bald eagles. Pull up! Pull up!
Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone. Anyways, Mackenzie's just I don't know.
She's
AWOL?
no MIA.
MIA. Yeah.
Wait, so you don't know where she is?
No.
Do we need to post photos on milk cartons?
Do they even do that
they
anymore?
make
I haven't
milk
seen that. They
Um,
do.
They do, because
For
they
school.
have them at school lunches.
Yeah.
I kind of
They're
thought they were
plastic
like.
bottles at my daughter's school.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You got
Oh
all
wait, no though. If
fancy?
you buy like the like almond milk, that comes in a
There's
carton still,
almond
right?
milk
I
now?
guess it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At schools.
I
no,
kinda
I mean,
figured
like,
that-
No,
I know
no.
you can buy them
No,
at
I
grocery
already
stores.
moved
I
way
thought
past.
cartons of milk had phased out like the plastic caps that went on the bottom of soda bottles.
That's a
You
huge
know.
Remember those?
I do. And
Yeah.
those used to be cool
Those
because
are
then you could
gone.
make like your own
Pretty
mini
sure if you buy
terrarium.
a 3 liter,
Right?
they
Yeah.
still have them.
Can't
No.
you just turn
No.
the bottle
No.
upside down? Is that what you're talking
No, so they
about?
used to have a plastic cap on the bottom, so you could cut. You cut off the top
It
part
was
that
like
goes
a
up,
separate piece
and then
of the bottle.
and then you could
It makes
slide it in. You can make it like your own little
She's too young
terrarium.
to know this.
I totally thought
But
that
it
was just
makes-
a bunch of bottles, like, cut up, like, I feel like you can
no,
do
no,
that with a
it
bottle
looks
anyway.
like more soda
can.
that way.
But Well,
No,
not,
you
not
can't
just
do it
that.
anymore
It's
because the bottom is the bottom now.
somebody gotta Google this 1980s soda bottle.
Yeah, we're just gonna skip that. So
phased out in like 2005.
yeah,
but
they're
all
gone.
right.
So
They
anyways,
got phased out in like 95.
so let's move from phasing out soda bottles to actually what the subject is because wow, we've already talked about.
You know
crazy
what? And I bet it was a monster who came in and said, let's take the bottoms
Exactly.
off all
Some baby
of
milk?
the soda bottles and cause chaos to the world. And
Just stomped on the factory.
foiled. Nobody
Yes.
cared.
So we're going to talk about, on this episode, giant robots and kaiju and why we love them. Because honestly, because of the upcoming movie, Pacific Rim 2, which
Yes.
I love. The soundtrack is amazing. Yeah, it's one of my favorite writing soundtracks.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's
It's a
on
little
this?
epic.
Who's on what?
Wait,
Soundtrack.
what?
The soundtrack.
I know. Who's?
It's
is it just musical?
It's just
Is it-
instrumental.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's actually like a
I will.
Howard
Who did it?
Shore,
I
James.
I could almost bet it
Yeah,
was
I do
Two
not
Steps
know
from
my
Hell.
composer.
no.
Edvard Grieg.
Hold
Maybe?
on. I'll pull it up. Just because I remember, it's not
Can't
someone.
think of any composers off the top of my head.
Two
Well,
Steps from Hell
John
is my
Williams.
favorite.
There we go.
It's not John
that's
Williams
the-
though.
yeah,
John
that's the
Williams.
dude.
I
That's
thought.
la, 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 la.
Oh, and there's one guy named Peter.
It was Raymond
or something. That's probably
Jawaldi.
true.
Yeah.
Wow, you're
Raymond
just
Jawaldi.
Bro.
butchering that.
It's DJAWADI. I'm just making a guess. Can you figure that out?
I feel like the
And I
D
don't
is
think it's
silent.
Peter either.
Or
It was
okay,
probably
maybe the D is silent. Jawaldi. I don't know, but it was awesome. Anyways, so
Pedro Pete.
you
What
guys are just
topic
having
are
a
you
side
on?
conversation over here.
Petro.
Pedro.
Petro.
Huh?
Pedro.
Pietro?
Vote for Pedro.
Pietro.
Right?
Yeah.
Something like. All right. Anyways, so giant robots. Why we love them? Why they're awesome? Why when in Pacific Rim the sword is unleashed? Why we still have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers still on TV and that should have been gone years ago?
Yeah.
They even made a movie.
That's a fair
Okay, but the
question.
movie was not awful.
Oh yes, it was.
It was
You're
not
right.
awful.
It was
wasn't-
awful.
well,
Did you not
I went-
see Alpha?
As
He was this
compared
weird
to-
slug robot.
I went into that expecting the absolute worst because I didn't
yeah,
like it as a
yeah,
kid.
same,
And
same.
so yes, it
Yeah,
was
I did.
all right.
I kind
it was
of
okay.
almost
And,
expected it to be
and
a little
Zordon was a
slaughter.
jerk.
I just
in that
did
movie.
not do
Wasn't
that
he?
I
at
know.
all,
I mean, he was
because
he was an
that seemed
a-hole.
like
Yeah.
the right
Straight
thing
up.
to do at the time.
Yeah,
Just
no,
to
I
just
feel
not
like
view
it was a
that.
Yeah, you
time
don't
when
have
I
to.
was sick
Yeah.
at home with my
Literally, I
husband,
didn't pay
and
to
he
go
was
see
like,
it.
Let's watch this because we have it.
Oh,
Okay.
Those
Well, hey,
Power
if you
Rangers.
like it, that's
I'd do
that's
that.
okay.
I
But
don't know that I'm passionate about my liking it. I just like it.
okay.
she doesn't
I
not
enjoyed
like
it.
it.
So the Megazord
Yes.
looked dumb, but you
Okay.
may have liked it.
No, I mean, I feel like they did a good job of encapsulating everything that Power Rangers was.
Okay.
which was mostly stupid.
Yeah.
As
but,
it turns
but
out,
also kind of that
When we were
really
younger.
awesome triumph
Yes.
that came with Power Rangers.
So I'm going to throw this in here because we forgot to mention this in the beginning.
Okay.
So for those of you that are wondering, who the heck are these other two voices?
oh yeah, we have some guests in her.
We got-
why?
Oh yeah.
We got
This is
Rock
not Scott and not Mackenzie.
and Natasha.
Were their replacements.
You want to know what?
Their upgrades.
That's actually kind of funny.
Oh.
Because when I was talking to you guys at LTUE, they're like, so are these our replacements?
Yes.
I was like, hi, I'm gonna work with you guys, and then I haven't seen them since.
Oh,
Yeah.
how come you got a
Scott's
new
been
number?
replaced with another bearded man.
Because
and,
you were
Mackenzie's
busy
been replaced
talking
with
to
another
someone
girl.
else.
I do business.
You were busy talking
Working my angles
to other people and,
Covers.
and whatnot.
and,
Covers
and
the
tickling
genres of our
Alan's
audience.
um,
The
Oh,
bearded
alright,
his
that-
chin.
female section.
Yeah.
Gaming side of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they've got a lot of insight. They have an upcoming podcast that'll be coming out soon.
ZZ through.
Yes,
I
we
don't-
just
I-
named it today.
We did?
Okay, so
Yeah.
are you going to have that official name? Are you going to throw
Yes,
it out there, or
yeah,
do you want to
yeah.
wait?
Official.
Hatching Owlbears.
Hatching Owlbears. She said it. So now it's out in the
Hatching
universe, and it must be there.
Owlbears.
Well, somebody's
The
got to
thing.
do it.
Because
Yes.
owlbears are cute. And
And-
names are fun.
From what I hear, they don't hatch themselves, at least not easily.
No.
Yeah.
I heard it's some.
And someone got upset at me for saying they're not cute, but then I compared them to a Wookiee, and then
And
everyone's like,
Wookiees
okay,
are adorable.
Yeah,
Just
again,
like
like,
Oh,
Owlbears
they're
are
ugly like
adorable.
them
cute and
Wookiees. And I was
adorable.
like, oh.
They're
you just got
dangerous.
something.
And I
They're
figured
dangerous.
They were like
They're
the
very
Coca-Cola
vicious and
polar bears
dangerous.
as well.
they literally,
Yes,
it's
you want to share a Coke with them, but they'll also cut you open
Exactly.
and spread your entrails across the snow.
You don't know how polar bears eat.
Well, they may not be that messy, but I imagine they need at least 1 or 2 napkins.
I feel like they
They eat
go,
fish.
like, right for the head.
yeah.
That seems like the messiest of eating.
Well,
I feel like if the animal's still
So
alive,
by the time that they get to the midsection, they are going to spread it across.
I
the
feel like I
stomach.
need
They're
to
not
be
that hungry.
Uncle
are we
Ned.
talking about, like,
It's coming right
like
for us.
fluid volume or scent? Because I feel like the odor from the entrails is gonna be
why
far
are we
worse
talking
and
about
more
the
of a
odor of
mess.
entrails?
But I see.
What does this have to
they're
do
not
with
really
giant
united
robots?
too much.
Okay, but
Okay, let's go to the
entrails-
giant bears. A
But if
giant
you go
bear.
through, okay,
If a giant bear were to attack a robot,
go on.
would it try to tear out its robotic?
No, it would line up its head.
See, in that case, I feel
I
like
guess
it's
that
gonna
would
be
be
limbs.
a hydraulic system, right?
Limbs,
That-
right?
I-
Limbs would be.
You know, I thought we'd be more on topic with not Scott McKenzie, and Rock is just making it worse. You two are just
What?
everywhere.
Well,
But yet we're talking about a
Thing
giant
is-
robot attacking a giant polar bear.
which would be monstrous.
Oh, it's one
All right.
step better. It's a Coca-Cola robot.
All right, it's
No.
a giant Coca-Cola
You have
robot polar
derailed
bear.
the conversation.
Battle. Who would win?
Wait, now I think we need
You know,
to go
to get
into
back on
talking
topic,
about
let's say, audience, let us know what your ideas are. Who's going to win? Giant Coca-Cola robot or polar bear? Back onto the other topic.
Oh wow.
How's that? for
Okay,
a
so
second?
giant robots. We got the Megazord. There's Voltron. We've got Transformers. We've got Gypsy Dangers and the other Jaegers.
I didn't even think of Transformers when it came to
What?
giant robots.
How did you
How do you not?
Well,
Megaplex,
they are.
Fortress
They
Maximus,
Because when I
Omega
think of
Supreme,
Transformers, I think of cars.
Triptychon.
I think of the cars when I think of Transformers. And then you mentioned the... Oh, that's right.
They're
They
still
become,
pretty big.
inordinately
There's
massively-
Devastator. Not the one in Michael Bay's horrible movie that had dangly bits between its legs.
I
Why?
missed that.
I
somehow.
don't. What?
Again, you
Yeah,
just
just
filter
like
all of it
Hulk's,
out.
Hulk's green, shiny.
Well, you haven't seen you saw this. You saw.
I have no
How did you
memory.
miss it? It's giant and green.
No, it's just the
Maybe
kind of
you're
thing
just
that's-
paying attention to that sort of thing.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay,
I've never
but still,
been
dangly bits.
Hulk
That
is
Devastator didn't
gone.
even look like Devastator from cartoons or anything.
Okay, yeah.
So there's that.
Yes.
You know, we've got the Iron Giant, classic. Vin Diesel voiced it. That's a great one.
See, that was the first one I thought of.
See, that was not the first one that I thought of, but that just makes my heart like sing and melt.
You know,
and cry
there's
at same
the
time.
there's the Veritech fighters from Robotech. Any Robotech fans? No.
Not as much.
Yeah, we already talked about the Megazords,
I feel like my
Uh,
geek level is not high enough. to
There's
be having this
Voltron,
conversation.
which is now back on Netflix,
Voltron
which is actually pretty
is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the giant robots that are made up of a bunch of smaller robots, like Voltron
Mhm.
and
Now there's a lot of those.
like Megazord.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, well, Voltron was around
I
before
want to see
that.
giant kaiju made up of smaller kaiju.
We might, yeah, we could see that.
That sounds
That, like
awesome.
a Frankenstein.
TM.
A mother
Or
of moths.
The
Mothra?
robots in
A
even
mother of moths.
Keep going in the
Evangelion?
wrong
The Mothra
direction.
is so big
It's like I'm
already.
throwing them out there for
Yeah.
just easy little lobs. and
Okay.
you're like, I'm
Okay.
just gonna hit the bat on the ground.
A Godzilla. Of
So
Godzillas.
Mecha Godzilla.
Boom!
There's Mecha
That just
Godzilla.
seems weird, though.
No,
that
no,
all these
I mean-
Godzillas would be holding on to each other
You
to
need
make
to
a giant or
broaden-
Godzilla.
You need to broaden your scope here. I want a, I don't know what his name is, kaiju, made out of like little Godzillas and little Mothras and little,
Okay.
That would be a
I
really
don't know.
big
maybe like a
kaiju.
Cthulhu head.
But like something that comes together and then falls apart whenever it wants to?
Yeah.
Or something more like Gremlins where it gets wet and then eats a chili dog after midnight and then suddenly they all like magnetically form into something.
Also,
A
not
giant-
a thing that happened.
You know?
No.
No.
Kind of made that up.
It just makes.
No,
That's
but like
big.
That's with the little things when they get wet. The little things pop
yeah,
off.
but
of-
they couldn't eat after midnight and they
Please
couldn't get
stop
wet.
talking.
But they didn't reverse.
Please.
Okay,
They
wait a
didn't
minute.
Go back.
Are you
into
talking
one-
about the Mogwais from
You're
Gremlins?
saying
Yeah.
it backwards.
I'm not.
You get the Mogwai wet
And
and
then it
What
multiply.
direction it goes in doesn't matter. The fact
No,
is that
If it's a
water
gremlin and
color
it gets
reacts.
wet, it creates more.
But,
Yes.
yes, a gremlin. But if we're talking about a kaiju made up of other kaijus, I was just mentioning the smaller ones. What if they got wet or
Well, then that's just-
ate something and
that's-
had a similar
Okay.
or
Okay.
different
Well, here's the problem.
reaction,
If
but
we-
a reaction
if we
to
go through-
something.
If we do Pacific Rim based on that, we're screwed because they immediately come into the ocean.
Yeah, that's like
It's like.
Well, but you could do it in contact with something else other than water.
You're right.
yeah.
lava.
No.
Uh,
Yeah. So if you eliminate
Lava.
your whole connection to gremlins
Yes.
and food and water, and you do it in the opposite direction, then yeah, I totally see your point.
Okay,
Alright, then.
so giant
We're
robots.
on the
I'm
same
still
page.
Yes.
okay. We're still staying on the giant robots. What about the Mega Maid
Are we?
from Spaceballs?
Oh!
Mega Maid.
Well played, sir. I
Is
did
that a
not
robot
consider
or
Mega
is
Maid.
that more like the Death Star?
That
It is a
single-
robot.
That single robot almost took out an entire
You're right.
planet.
You're
Yes.
right. That is a robot.
I
I mean, that is
cannot
hard.
appreciate
Wow.
this.
Why?
Almost destroyed an entire
Baseball's
civilization.
just not my thing.
That's
you know?
okay. It's still a robot.
Okay, it
You
is
didn't
still a
even
robot.
like-
I'm not gonna.
I guarantee you, Mega Maid could take out a kaiju, if not suck its brains out.
Oh, Mega Maid would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's legit.
The
man.
kaiju would literally say, "This
Trying
sucks."
to.
Yeah, it
would.
It does suck.
Would that make the kaiju
No.
the protagonist in this story?
No.
I don't know, maybe. Okay, so why do we love robots? What's so cool about robots that we love? And then we'll jump to kaiju.
Well,
I mean, obviously,
for one,
there's a reason we love robots.
they look cool.
Yes.
Just like Iron Man looks cool. Even when there's all square and everything's square, it still kind of looks cool.
Well, but
Okay.
it's also like becoming something better than yourself, right? Iron Man without the suit isn't Iron Man. I mean, he is. That's the whole concept of
But he's,
Movie three,
it
but-
gives him that extra.
it. Gives that
ability.
yeah,
But we all know.
the extra oomph,
Just
and
like
it's
robots.
the same with
Same with robots.
robots.
They,
Yeah,
They
or
have
mechs,
robot-
technically.
And
Yeah.
Max, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
they have
go
aspects
mechs when I
where-
think about this stuff. To be honest.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
mechs have the person inside of it
Yeah.
rather than a robot which acts on its own.
Okay.
Or is
But
an
then-
artificial intelligence.
You get back to the Iron Giants. Very much not a mech.
Very much.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Also not mechs.
Yeah.
Also,
But is a transformer a robot,
Yes.
or is it
It is a robot.
a biological?
yeah, it's a good
Mechanical.
point. Yeah.
Okay, so
Biomechanical.
by
yeah.
the movies, yes, but technically in the cartoon they are robots.
Okay.
Alternate
They have a
life
that have
form.
a that have
That's
a
right,
living
it's-
sentience.
It even says it in the theme.
Yeah.
Robots in disguise.
Yes. But then Michael Bay made them aliens. Yes.
I like disguise.
But
It's
the
easier than
spark-
explaining sentience
The
Yes.
spark,
to an
right?
audience.
Yeah.
I just had a great idea.
But then
for a
but then the
t-shirt.
doubt
Matrix
it.
still
a
looked
robot
really
with
stupid.
a mustache and glasses. It's a robot in disguise.
Already happened.
Oh,
Did it?
Already happened.
Where can I get that?
Galvatronus Rodimus, which is now Galvatron's consciousness is now in Rodimus Prime, and he has a mustache and goatee, just like
Don't
and it's black. It's
I was-
on
I
the
was
shelves right
earlier.
now.
My geek level is not high enough to be.
That's okay.
I see. I think I just. Yeah, because that all went over me too.
Okay,
I just want
but-
like.
So
basic
Varen's our
robot.
everyday Joe.
When we get quiet,
It's
that's when you know.
because I just made it
Something's
awkward.
going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but if we're talking about
Those are
kaiju
the big
specifically, right? Kaiju are often an opposition of more mecha rather than robots,
Correct.
right?
Yeah,
Because if
that's-
you have them in opposition to robots, you lose the humanality of it.
Correct.
And so, by bringing in the mecha, you are reinserting the human element.
Correct.
What if your human element is the city being destroyed, and it's who's going to destroy it?
Well,
Kaiju?
so in
or-
most
robot?
options or most
the Iron Giants.
movies and manga and that when you see kaiju appear,
Is he
the
destroying
robot
cities?
is
No, that's what I'm
human
saying.
driven.
That's
Right.
the whole-
It's
Or-
not
Or it's
of my
military
pseudo
driven.
Correct.
argument.
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
so there is the human element. We don't have like Transformers stuff like that.
Well-
Even Mega Maid is ran
By humans.
by people.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
Because if you
Not
put
very
the
smart
two,
ones.
you lose
Correct.
that connection with your audience.
Yeah.
They don't have big brains.
But
they do have
kaiju-
big helmets.
So kaiju, we have different. We have you were kind of bringing that up. We have a difference: American kaiju and Japanese
Yes.
kaiju. Godzilla is very much a Japanese kaiju, even though people don't realize that.
Americanized.
But
Oh,
it has,
Godzilla!
yeah, but it has been Americanized in a really horrible Matthew Broderick movie.
And then there's King Kong.
And then there's King
Oh,
Kong, which was
Godzilla.
fantastic. Skull
That's
Island was
really
even
new.
better.
Has anybody watched the Godzilla Netflix series?
No,
I have
yet.
not.
I haven't either.
However, there is a new Godzilla
anime?
movie that was recently released.
Released or
Godzilla
announced?
Shinji or something like that. You can buy it now, but it's a Japanese movie with it. They've redubbed. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
Godzilla looks vicious,
Take it
mean,
back.
and evil.
Excellent.
Yes. So he's gone back to the evil kaiju type. So I and as much as I love Godzilla, all those old movies are kind of corny.
Have you seen?
They're great, but they're corny,
Well, but
especially when
that's the
baby
If you want to
Godzilla
take
shows
us
up.
back though to like my childhood,
Yes.
for instance, What about the Godzilla cartoon?
Oh,
Oh, yeah?
yes.
Yeah, I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Don't remember.
And in that one, actually, it was an
And he blows-
automaton from Atlantis that Godzilla was fighting,
Yeah.
and not a man.
Yeah.
So it was fully robot.
And the
Yes.
little circle puffs of smoke
Oh,
he
yeah.
shoots out. Yeah.
Yeah, with the.
Well, maybe that's why they made Transformers aliens instead of making them.
Well, I'm sure that's the reason they went that route is because
Pure
it's like,
rock.
okay, let's make this a little bit more believable.
Mhm.
They're aliens from a planet where technology evolved. That's how. I can see what they did, but then where he took it was just wrong.
Well, yeah, something that
Um,
we can relate to.
But kaiju, the best thing that I've seen Americanized for kaiju is Pacific Rim. It's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They looked amazing. They're monstrous. You got to see giant robots beating the crap out of monsters. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for the next one.
Well, so part of why we love it, right, is
It's the little kid in us. I mean,
the
really.
little kid in us and the visual, right,
Yeah.
of something ginormous destroying and threatening.
And then you see the giant robot land. You got the soundtrack. And then they go charging in. And even though they're in giant robots, they still get beat up. Some of them die. Some of them get torn apart. But they still, in the end, win out. It's not just like, hey, like that was the one thing I appreciate with the new Voltron is they get beat up quite a bit. They don't always win. They have to retreat. But in the old one, going back and watching, I create the sword, and they always sliced up the monster, and they'd always win.
Well, but that was also a facet of television.
Yes, I know.
Except when it's the seaweed monster, because they just make more.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys, I'm still on the
that's okay. That's okay.
Talk about-
So
I'm hanging on to that one.
I'm hanging on to this with all I got. So are we saying we love them because it appeals to the child in us? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I think even the love of violence, right? I mean,
It's
okay,
fascinating, too.
Yeah.
like let's talk about the difference between Japanese kaiju and mecha and robots
Besides the fact that they're
versus
just insanely crazy and
yeah,
demonic.
but it's
Yeah.
in America we latch onto the idea of like this overcoming the bad guy, and
We likes our heroes.
we
We
like
do.
the idea of the violence, right? Where in the Japanese culture, it seems to be a lot more about the underlying meaning towards it.
The meaning of life and theme.
Yeah.
Lame.
Why is this creature coming to destroy us?
Yeah, was it
Not
something that we
relevant.
did
Smack.
wrong,
Yeah.
right? And the morality of that. Whereas
Yeah.
we, in America, at least in general, like the big crashing and exploding and awesomeness
As,
that comes
as
with that.
Blue Oyster Cult said, history shows again and again that nature points out the follies of men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Well, and
From
ultimately,
their Godzilla song.
Okay. There
ultimately,
you go,
right?
kids.
Godzilla
Blue Oyster
and
Cult
any
reference.
kaiju
For the
is
podcast.
For all you
Hey,
younger
we
kids.
throw those out. That's what Varen does.
Good. I
he
wonder-
throws out the quotes.
The music stuff and that. That's his thing.
I'm a little bit different of a geek.
Yes.
I have a
We can
different
appreciate
stream
that.
of geekhood.
He does.
Geekness.
You swim up a different.
It
I
helps
do. I
us to
swim a
tie in
different geek
everything.
stream.
Fair.
And it's fun.
Yes.
It's fun. Because I learn things from these guys that I'd never learned. Like the Pacific Rim.
I'm a relatively new geek, actually. I've been geeking for about 10 years.
Just thinking, you
Only
look like
10.
a young geek.
Yeah. No, I'm not
You look
young.
young as far as the geeks
But the
go.
geekness, yeah, like it's
Yeah.
not
The
dripping
geekness
off
is
me
Yeah.
like it is
No,
Danny
like
over
not
there.
physically, you don't look
Yeah,
young.
no,
it's
yeah.
just
Literally
the
dripping off.
geekness.
You have
It's
this
just
like
kind
It's in the
Superman
Fresh.
sweatshirt
Yes.
and a
It's
Transformers
fresh.
t-shirt.
My eyes are
and-
still bright.
Oh, and the
full of
Green
light.
Lantern
you can see the
ring,
spark.
look at
That's
that.
what
I
it
have not
is.
yet
It's
been
the
jaded.
spark. It's that spark of
It's
hope.
everywhere.
It'll die
I'm
soon
in,
enough.
I'm in another closet.
Oh, it's been out of the closet a
Yay,
long
I'm
time.
a geek.
and on your form,
Mhm.
literally.
Yes. It's everywhere.
I mean, you are wearing a Transformers t-shirt right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, and the Superman hoodie,
Yeah,
and
the
the Green
hoodie's
Lantern
Superman.
ring, and
Yeah.
like
Oh,
the
it's
bracelets.
like
And
bracelets,
Can't
Star Wars.
decide where you're going with
Star
all
Wars.
of
Decks
this.
out.
it's just everywhere.
I am wearing Crocs. That's the
That's
extent
awesome.
of my geek. right
I
now.
purposefully
Like
picked
Rock.
out my DC
Rock out, not Rock out.
superhero shirt.
Yeah.
He's got to mix up
But
all
this-
four of them.
See, this is a Justice League blend
Yes.
Yes,
that you're wearing with the
it is.
Superman, Batman, Flash.
So, there's
Where's
another
Wonder Woman?
great robot.
But they're all the
Oh,
men.
yeah.
The Toy Man
That'll be
made.
a little weird.
The Toy Man made this Batman
I mean, you could,
Superman robot.
Oh,
Okay,
You never saw that
I don't
episode.
think I did.
Dang it.
you could make it. You know what?
It would be weird.
That would just be weird stuff.
Ah,
Just stop.
Yeah, that
So, maybe, so
yeah.
Wonder
That's all
Woman.
I
I think we'll just
Okay,
leave it as
so
it is.
there could be several ones. It's Wonder Woman, Hot Girl, Black Canary, and Starfire, I guess.
Hawk. Oh, he said
Oh, Hawk
Hawk.
Girl.
Girl.
Not
yeah, it's like
Hawk.
Wonder Woman,
Hawk.
Hawk Girl,
Hawk. Girl.
Starfire. I'm like,
Enunciate.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
let's put the hot.
I haven't
girl
read
in there.
that one.
I would agree with that
Yeah,
one.
Hot Girl.
Second the vote.
All right.
Ha! Was a trick. You guys are sexist and we're offended.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you
Wait a
found
minute.
him out?
I did.
Okay, now the question is, 'cause
Way
we're talking
too
about
easily.
robots.
Start. Oh,
Are
yeah,
we?
robots.
Do cyborgs count? Or
No.
are they out?
No,
Cyborgs
because
are
we're
out.
talking
I thought we were
giants,
talking about
right?
giants.
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
we're on the giants,
Has anybody done
your
the
cyborgs?
giant cyborg robot?
No. I mean,
I don't
Mech
think
is the
that- I can't
closest
think
that
of
you
a
get.
cyborg giant
Yeah.
robot.
Yeah.
It's like a Cylon, a giant Cylon. Oh, look at
That
Someone
could-
What
that.
about-
I side geeked.
Oh, what's that? Susan. What about Susan?
What?
The
What?
giant from Monsters vs. Aliens. The girl who turns
Holy
into a
Okay,
giant
but she's
robot.
not a.
got
Yeah,
a very
she's
good
not a
point. She's a
cyborg or
giant.
robot.
She's
But
a
she's
kaiju.
not kaiju.
She's a kaiju.
Is
No.
she a kaiju?
No, she's just
No.
giant.
No,
What?
Oh, no.
she's not kaiju.
No, kaiju are specifically generally monsters and animalistic.
Yes.
She's kaiju.
Now the missing link, if he was bigger, could probably be considered
Which-
kaiju.
Actually, doesn't mean what you probably think it
So,
means.
wait, is that like Japanese Hebrew?
Yes, she's kaiju.
Kaijuish. Wow. Okay.
Oh, now I'm
Let's
just
revert
embarrassed
back.
for you.
So
and
we're gonna
also
revert
myself.
back. We love giant robots because they appeal to our childhood. We like the violence. They're cool looking. Why do we like kaiju?
Well, hold on though. Let me go
Because
back
they're
a
the
little
big
bit.
bad.
I
Okay,
never,
they're big
I never
bad guys.
actually gave any type of semblance of a response to the
Okay.
giant robot thing.
Go ahead.
So I'd like to form that up now.
You're too busy going off.
I think part of why we like the giant robots is because they represent some form of ability to resist.
Okay.
I mean, if it's just kaiju and
Robots are
humans,
man-made.
we're all
Yes.
screwed, right? But this comes of us. This is something that we've created to counter this
Yeah.
giant
Well,
threat.
It's a lot better than a giant wall that doesn't
Well,
hold
it's
them back.
Yeah,
ultimately
right? Or
the
like,
ultimate
you know,
struggle between good and evil, right?
It's our
If we're
way of
looking at
matching
kaiju
the
as
problem
evil, we
size
have to-
Yeah.
and confronting
Well-
it.
Yes.
I agree because most people probably think that the man-made thing is going to be, well, not nowadays. Nowadays it's like, oh yeah, that's the thing that people build. It must be the evil thing. The poor natural kaiju from the planet deserve to have
If
what
you-
they
No,
want.
no.
The thing is if you're looking at it, right, the evil thing becomes whatever is encroaching on the
It's foreign.
original
Whatever
areas.
is foreign.
Yeah, the original territory.
Well,
So
so are we
right,
speaking
when
about
kaiju
man?
invade Japan,
Yeah.
it's the idea of the kaiju coming in so they become evil.
Yes.
If it's
The invader is always the wrong, right?
in the wrong.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, that's just how
Well,
it
as
is.
long as
We've
we're
written
the-
history.
yeah.
Exactly.
The
I know,
invader is
I was
the
gonna
one
say,
that's in
yeah.
wrong.
Well,
Because
but
that's
it's
what we
whoever
decided.
wins,
Yeah.
right?
Unless your invader's Zen.
Right up to the point
Then
until
you're
we
just
start
a
to invade other
lost
planets. in
cause.
which
The
case
invaders are the
invader
bad
is
guys
now
as
the
long
good.
as you're the native.
Right.
Or the winner.
Yeah, or the winner.
Yeah.
Or the winner.
The winners write history.
Because if you're the loser, well, who cares?
Yeah. Then your opinion is no.
Just watch The Colony. You'll figure it out.
Is
Also,
that
we
good?
It's okay.
It's got Sawyer in it, so I was like,
It's okay.
lost.
Yeah. It's
I was
really
like, I haven't
weird.
seen those pecs in a while.
It's really
Yeah.
weird.
I'm sure he goes shirtless at least once, right?
Oh,
Probably
a
the first
lot.
episode.
There's a lot.
He's a hottie.
What we're in it for.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
watching.
giant robots. Well, that one. So the storyline for that one is an alien race comes, wins, and now they've colonized. So they've literally built 300-foot walls around sections
Mhm.
of the United States, and people are put in small colonies. Like families are torn apart because maybe your wife or son or someone was in another city for something, you weren't there. They landed, giant walls were erected, you're stuck, and you can't get to them. It's just crazy. And you don't want to go to the factory. You don't want to go to the factory. Apparently, the factory is the worst place to go, and you never see people that are shipped.
No one comes out of the factory.
Yeah.
Not in the shape of people.
No, it's
No,
more like a goo.
Yeah, green.
Hey, that sounds a lot like this one really show.
Is this
They're
the same type
people.
of goo that
Are
Scott has
you,
been
are you
stuck
talking?
in?
Maybe.
The primordial ooze.
Yeah.
Primordial. It's not primordial if it comes out of a human.
Why did you go there, Rock?
That's right. It would be
It would be mordial. Yeah.
not right.
Mordial. Yeah. That's not a good word.
Yeah.
Can't use it anymore.
We'll move to
Um,
another location.
We should go ahead,
Anti-mordial.
beep that word out.
I don't know how to beat
Mordial?
that out.
Go back.
Whoa, you're knocking stuff
it's
over.
coming at me.
All right, so apparently we have a kaiju coming at
Uh-oh.
Baron. So we're gonna wrap this up.
Light.
Give us your opinions on kaiju.
Why do I love kaiju?
Maybe we actually made this sound intelligent. Maybe you'll like this episode. Maybe you'll just think we need to
There's
quit.
a chair involved.
What the heck?
It's not a kaiju, it's a robot.
We need to end this while we're ahead because
Oh.
Baron's gonna die.
Decepticon!
Wait.
So with that said, were you gonna say something
I was
else?
gonna say why I love kaiju.
Go ahead.
Because I love animals.
They're not
Honestly,
animals.
like that's it.
They're monsters.
They're monsters from
They're
another dimension or another world.
That, excuse me, is a matter of perspective.
Okay.
You don't know. That may be some other giant robot's pet from some other world.
Okay.
I prevailed.
Okay.
I'm
You did.
alright.
You
Yeah,
survived.
We're all good.
So
Yay!
maybe
fine.
kaiju are good. I don't know. All right. With that said, we're out of here. We'll catch you next time.
Oh.
Give us your opinion.
Oh, I catch you.
You're listening to Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Please subscribe and follow them on Facebook or Twitter, please. No, we're even promoting these filthy idiots. Who doesn't like them? Who doesn't like anyone? No, they're our friends, please, our friends. No, shut up. Please subscribe.
BayCon 2018 returns this Memorial Day weekend to the San Mateo Marriott San Francisco Airport for its 36th year as the longest fan-run science fiction and fantasy convention in the San Francisco Bay Area. This year's theme is Patchwork Fandom, Stitching the Generations Together, and will focus on costuming and programming items aimed at connecting younger and older generations of SFF fandom through shared interests. BayCon's writer guest of honor is Tamara Pierce, recipient of 2013's Margaret A. Edwards Award for The Song of the Lioness and protector of the small quartets. Her newest novel, Tempest and Slaughter, has just been released in hardcover and ebook. BayCon 2018 will also welcome artist guest of honor Margaret Organ Keene, fan guest of honor Christopher J. Garcia, and Toastmaster M. Todd Gallowglass. Come join us for a weekend of fun and fandom. Get your membership at www.baycon.org.